In this video, we will learn some basics of the equilibrium reactions, that is introduction to the equilibrium. So first we will see the introduction to reversible reaction followed by characteristics of reversible reaction. We will see some examples and then the energy changes in the equilibrium reactions. If we talk about some chemical reactions, say for example carbon is reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Now if we take another example where hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas to form water molecules. Now I am not writing a balanced equation here, but what I mean to say is that when we take some amount of carbon and fully burn it with oxygen, then all the carbon tends to react to form the carbon dioxide, that is all the reactants gets used up. Same in the case of hydrogen gas. Suppose if we take a tank of hydrogen gas or in some container we have taken hydrogen gas and allow it to react with oxygen or burn with oxygen, all the molecules of hydrogen gas is going to turn into water molecules. So such a reaction where all the reactants gets used up to form the products are called irreversible reactions, because without applying special conditions, the products will not change back to reactants. Even the water molecule, if we don't perform another chemical reaction, the water molecules cannot change back to hydrogen or oxygen. So we call such reactions as irreversible reactions. Now let me take another example where a copper sulfate, this is called anhydrous copper sulfate, which is white in color. When reacts with water molecules, it forms anhydrous copper sulfate where 5 water molecule gets bonded to 1 molecule of copper sulfate. Now this is called hydrated copper sulfate because the 5 molecules of water gets bonded to the 1 molecule of copper sulfate. But in this reaction, here we can say that the copper sulfate reacted with water to form hydrated copper sulfate, but if we heat the hydrated copper sulfate, the 5 water molecules are going to get evaporated out, and so we will get back the anhydrous copper sulfate, which is white in color. So such a reaction where we can change the reactants to some product, and by just applying some change, the products can change back to reactants. Such a reactions is called a reversible reaction, and here you can see that I have applied a double-sided arrow. So such an symbol of double-sided arrow that indicates the reversible process of the reaction, or you can call this as reversible reaction where such an arrow is indicated. Now as I have already mentioned that copper sulfate, which is white in color, is called anhydrous copper sulfate, and when it reacts with the water molecules it forms hydrated copper sulfate. Now this reaction where anhydrous copper sulfate reacts with the water, here 5 water molecules gets bonded to copper sulfate. These 5 water molecule is called water of crystallization, and it's called so because copper sulfate is a hydrated copper sulfate is a crystalline substance where it is blue in color and it has got a crystals of a typical shape, and this shape is because of the presence of water molecules. When these water molecules gets evaporated out and changes to anhydrous copper sulfate, the shape of the crystals is lost because now anhydrous copper sulfate does not appear in a crystalline form. So because as the crystals have a typical shape and color because of the water, such water is called water of crystallization. Now in the same reaction, when copper sulfate reacts with water to form hydrated copper sulfate, such a reaction is called forward reaction, and when we heat the hydrated copper sulfate to evaporate out the water to form anhydrous copper sulfate, such a reaction is called backward reaction. So both ways the forward and backward reaction can happen by changing of some conditions of the reaction, and such reactions are reversible reactions. But with this reaction, both the processes are not happening together. But then there are some reactions where forward and reverse reactions can go on together at the same time. So you can say that the forward backward reactions are happening together. And when these reactions happen together, we call such reactions as equilibrium reactions, and equilibrium reactions have particular features. So let's have a look at these features. At equilibrium, that is irreversible reaction, when an equilibrium has reached where the reactants are changing to products and products are continually changing to reactants, this is called dynamic equilibrium. That is when both the processes happening together, reactants changing to products and products changing back to reactants. Such is called a dynamic equilibrium. For example, here nitrogen and hydrogen are reacting to form ammonia. Now here few of the molecules of nitrogen have reacted with some molecules of hydrogen to form some molecules of ammonia. Now here some ammonia changes back to hydrogen and nitrogen, then such a reaction is called dynamic reaction because both the reactants changing to products and products changing back to reactants is happening together. Now the second feature is that at equilibrium, the concentration of reactants and products does not change. Now this word is very important. This is because the rate of forward reaction is same as the rate of backward reaction. So you can say that the speed of forward reaction is equal to the speed of backward reaction, and that is the reason that the concentration of reactants and products does not change at equilibrium. When we say does not change, that does not mean that the concentration of reactants and products are same. No, they are not same. But whatever concentration is present, that concentration does not change. So let's have a look at again the same example. Here some molecules of nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia are already present at equilibrium. The reaction has already started and it's dynamic. Both ways it is happening. Now suppose at this position, some of the nitrogen, I am removing out one molecule of nitrogen, reacts with some molecule of hydrogen to form some molecule of nitrogen. But at the same time, these two molecules of nitrogen will again change back to the molecules of hydrogen and nitrogen, and so at equilibrium the concentration of reactants and products remains constant. I won't say remains same, but the concentration, that is the number of molecules, did not change. The next characteristics of equilibrium reaction is that equilibrium can be approached from either direction. That is, if we start with some kind of reaction to form the product, but in another reaction, if I start with the products, then I can get back the reactants and again the equilibrium can be reached. So reversible reactions can be started with any side. For example, now if I take another example of hydrogen iodide being decomposing to its elements, that is hydrogen and iodine. Now in this reaction, if I heat hydrogen iodide, it will change to hydrogen and iodine molecules. But if I start another reaction where I take hydrogen and iodine in a container and allow it to react, then it is still going to form an hydrogen iodide molecules, and again in this reaction also the equilibrium will be reached. That is, after some time the hydrogen iodide will start changing back to the hydrogen and iodine. So you can see that the reactions are same, but I started with the different kinds of reactants. So we can say that reversible reactions, equilibrium reactions can be approached from any side and still and condition of equilibrium will reach. Now another and the last feature of the reversible equilibrium reactions is the reactants and products must not escape from the reaction mixture and we call such an system as a closed system. Now when we say the word closed system does not mean that the reaction is happening in a closed container. It can happen in an open container also, but the condition is that the reactants and products should not escape out of the mixture, and that is called a closed system. Now let me explain you the last point of this video, that is the energy changes related to the reversible, that is the equilibrium reactions. Now with the first example here, where nitrogen and hydrogen reacts to form ammonia, here let me balance it. Now the forward reaction is an exothermic reaction. So the backward reaction should be an endothermic reaction. So we can say that when nitrogen and hydrogen reacts to form ammonia, the energy will be released to the surrounding. But at the same time, if the ammonia is changing back to reactants and products, then the energy will be absorbed from the surrounding. So what you can say, conclude from this example is that once the equilibrium has reached and the forward and backward reactions are happening at the same rate, then even the temperature of the reaction mixture will not change. The reason being is that the amount of the energy released out, the same amount of energy is being absorbed also. So this does not allow the temperature to change. Now if I take another example of hydrogen iodide decomposing to hydrogen and iodine, here in this the forward reaction is endothermic. So you can say that we need to heat hydrogen iodide to decompose it. But at the same time, once the equilibrium has reached and hydrogen and iodine is changing back to hydrogen iodide, then that should be exothermic reaction. So in this, one of the another key feature of the energy changes of the equilibrium and reversible reaction is that if one side of the reaction is exothermic, the another side should be endothermic reaction only. This is one of the another characteristics of an equilibrium reaction. So I hope now what are reversible reactions, what are equilibrium reactions, and the key features of the equilibrium reactions and its conditions will be very clear.